Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is able to hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen. Yes. So I believe for some of you, this might be the first lecture with me on English vocabulary. Am I right? Some of you might be attending the lecture for English vocabulary for the first time with me. I'm sure at school level, most of us had studied vocabulary in one form or the other. It could be in the English subject where word meanings, synonyms, antonyms, and other things were taught. And we have always understood that vocabulary is a very important thing which plays a huge role in our understanding of any language. Because it's only when we understand the meaning of a particular word that we are able to understand what the entire sentence means. And when the entire sentence is meaningful for us, then and only then we make sense of what the passage is. And when passages together make sense to us, that is when a book is of any use. So for understanding any written material, it is extremely essential for us to start understanding, to know the meaning of individual words. And that, my friends, is vocabulary. For a very long period of time, I have always maintained that vocabulary is not something which you learn by heart. या ऐसी कोई चीज़ नहीं है कि दिन में 50 वर्ड्स रट्टा मार लिया, रोज़ 50 वर्ड्स रट्टे मार लिए तो 10 दिन में 500 वर्ड हो गया, 100 दिन में 5000 वर्ड्स के मालिक बन गए, साल भर में करीबन कुछ few thousand words we remember and our vocabulary is powerful. Well, some people do it like that, but that is not what I generally prefer, because I'm sure many of you must be facing this problem, that you are well and good for the first couple of days when you have learned 50 new words, when you have learned 100 new words, and so on. But as and when the stock of words in your mind keeps growing, you start forgetting some of them. जब तक डे 3 या डे 4 पे नहीं पहुंचते, तब तक डे 1 के वर्ड्स तो ऑलरेडी दिमाग से उड़ चुके हैं. एंड द मोस्ट कॉमन कंप्लेन आई रिसीव इज, सर सारे वर्ड्स को एक साथ याद कैसे रखें? Am I true or not? Is it not a problem which many of us face, that we are all not able to remember many words together? Correct? So yes, remembering words which have been just learnt by heart is a very difficult task, and that is why learning anything by heart is generally not considered to be a good idea. Then what is the solution to that? Well, as far as vocabulary is concerned, it is very easy. Whenever we know something in its context, as in what situation is a particular thing being used, then remembering the meaning of that word is very easy. The second way is, if we know how to break down words, just like in maths, you can break down numbers into factors. So if you know 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, you can always break down 6 into 2 and 3. So if you know the properties of 2 and 3, you can identify what are the properties of 6. 2 is even, 6 is even, right? 6 is divisible by 3. 6 is it's a composite number, so on and so forth. And why? Because we know that it is consisting of 2 and 3. So if we know what smaller numbers a larger number is made of, then it becomes easy for us to identify how it is done. So there is a method of breaking down words in English into smaller root words, and this is known as etymology. Etymology is the science of breaking down words into its root components. Etymology is the science of breaking words into root components. For example, if you know the meaning of the word circum is circle, if you know the meaning of the word circum is circle, then can you tell me what is the meaning of the word circumambulate? What is the meaning of the word circumambulate? So, yes, if you know that the meaning of the word circum is a circle and the word ambulate means to walk, then the word circumambulate very clearly means to walk around in a circle. Excellent. Now, can somebody tell me what could be the meaning of the word hydrophobia? What could be the meaning of the word hydrophobia? Yes, the word hydro is very clearly associated with water, and phobia is associated with different kinds of fear. So, hydrophobia means the fear of water. So, in your vocabulary book, there is a huge list of word roots given, like hydro and aqua mean water, geo means rock or earth, litho means rock, pyro means fire, and so on. If you start learning the meaning of these word roots, then any word which contains them, you will be able to crack by the meaning, right? So I want you guys to start taking a look at the vocabulary book in which the word roots are given, and start learning at least 5 word roots every day, right? Just 5 roots. Try to make up as many words as you can, search for them online, confirm their meaning, and that is a good way of building your vocabulary, because one word root can often help you crack 10 to 15 words. So rather than mindlessly remembering 15 words, 5 word roots is actually going to help us much more. Okay, what we are going to do today is going to understand how to derive the contextual meaning of any word. I'm going to use a particular word in a sentence given on the screen. I'll also be presenting you with options. What I need you to do is identify from the given options which is the best word which is underlined. Right? I'm putting up the instructions on screen. In each of the sentences given below, a word is printed in bold. Below it, 4 choices are given. Pick up the one which is most nearly the same in meaning as the word printed in bold and can replace it without altering the meaning of the sentence. Pretty straightforward instructions. I think there should be no confusion. If you are ready, shall we begin? Okay, starting with the first one. It's very difficult to retain all that you hear in the class, right? Very meaningful sentence considering the topic of the day. It is very difficult to retain all that you hear in class. Here, contextually, what does retain mean? When you are hearing something in the class, what are you trying to do? If you are hearing it in the class, that means you are hearing it for the first time, right? When you're asked a question about it later is when you try to recall it. Do you try to recall it when you're hearing it for the first time? A lot many students are giving me the answer as recall. But guys, think. Recall is to bring back from memory, to remember. If you're hearing something for the first time in the class, are you going to recall it in any way? I don't think so. And preserve and conserve basically have more or less the same meaning, although it differs in magnitude. But preserve and conserve, 2 options which are similar, cannot be marked. So think about it. The best possible option here, which explains the meaning of the word, was keep. To retain simply means to keep. I'll be retaining these pieces of jewelry. Means I'll be keeping these pieces of jewelry. The teacher decided to retain the homework book of all the students. She's not recalling them, she's simply keeping them. So to retain something means to keep something in your possession. The word recall is very commonly misunderstood for retain. Retain simply means to keep. I hope everybody got this one. Next one. The great artist life was full of vicissitudes. This is a very, very uncommon word. Not many would have even heard of it before. But if you're talking about an artist's life, then what are we talking about? An artist goes through multiple phases. An artist goes through multiple experiences. And a great artist is one who has many different experiences in his life. If a person does not have multiple experiences in his or her life, then that person who leads a boring life is usually incapable of producing great works of art. But a person who has had a rich variety of experiences is one who actually is able to output them in the form of great art. Knowing that, what should be the best option for vicissitudes? The answer is yes, C for changes. Contextually, if you take a look at it, then because artists' life require a lot of changes in it for them to gain experience, to be able to produce different art, we should know that vicissitudes literally means changes. ठीक है? Moving on to the next one. She has an insatiable love for music. And guys, I hope you also know the meaning of the other words in the options. In case you don't know the meaning of any of the other words also, you should ask. So this is one great way in learning vocabulary. Whenever you are doing a question, you will actually have one word in the question and 4 words as options. It's not just important knowing the meaning of the word given in the question and the correct answer, but you will also know the meaning of the other words given in the options. So that ways you learn multiple words from the one single question. Insatiable, to satiate means to satisfy something, right? To satiate my hunger, to satisfy my hunger. So insatiable means that which cannot be satisfied. So it literally means unsatisfiable. Unsatisfiable. Undesirable is something which you don't want. To desire something is to want something. Undesirable is something which you don't want. Irreconcilable is something जिसके साथ कभी compromise नहीं हो सकता, जिसके साथ कभी understanding नहीं हो सकती, right? Insatiable means unending, जिसको कभी ख़त्म ही नहीं किया जा सकता. She always wants more and more music. So insatiable means unsatisfiable. Option C, irreconcilable. I hope I answered that. Yes? Is everybody with me on this one? Okay. Chalo, moving on. The great dancer impressed the appreciative crowd by his nimble movements. In fact, there is a childhood nursery rhyme which gives you the meaning of this word. I don't know how many of you have heard this rhyme. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. It tells you what is the meaning of the word nimble. One of the better synonyms for the word nimble is agile. Unrhythmic is something which does not have rhythm, right? Other two are simple words, but nimble literally means quickening. It comes nimble, somebody who is very active and agile, who moves very in short and quick movements. So there's a nursery poem which talks about being nimble and quick. The visitor had a bohemian look. A couple of years back, a very famous movie based on the real life story of artist Freddie Mercury, based on one of the titles of their song, Bohemian Rhapsody, came into existence. I'm sure a lot of us enjoyed the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. But what exactly does the word bohemian mean? Hostile means inimical, one who's an enemy. Sinister means evil. But bohemian simply means unconventional, that does not follow the regular rules of society. Jo hatke hai. Something, if it does not just follow the regular rules of society, then that is known as bohemian. The bullet wound proved to be fatal and the soldier died immediately. The word fatal also gives us the word fatality, which means death. Fatality or death. So, grievous, dangerous, or serious are all extreme words, but none of them are as extreme as reaching the point of death. The word deadly has dead in it, right? Closest. So, fatal is deadly, that which leads to death, ending the life of a person. Dangerous is not something. See, he's a very dangerous fighter. Does not mean he always kills the enemies. It always means it just means he defeats the enemies. So dangerous does not necessarily mean that he causes death. But fatal means it definitely causes death. So deadly has to be the answer. Deadly means something which leads you to die. Ishanya, did you get that? Dangerous does not necessarily mean causing death. Fatal means which causes death. The attitude of Western countries towards the third world countries is rather callous, to say the least. Now, the word callous also has a meaning in medicine, biology actually. When you are working without footwear on hard, uneven grounds, over a period of time, your foot it develops a thick skin and loses all sensations. So, when you develop calluses on your skin, you lose all feeling. So callous is something which has no sensation. Passive simply means something which does not respond, which is not active. Unkind means something which is cruel. Cursed यानी शापित. But unfeeling यानी कि जिसको कोई feeling नहीं होता, emotionless. And calloused literally means something which cannot experience, which cannot feel anything. So obviously callous has to be unfeeling. In spite of their efforts, the team of scientists could not make much headway to solve the problem. Yes. This one seems to be pretty simple. Most of us are getting it right. A headway is nothing but progress, right? They were not able to make much progress towards solving the problem. They were getting stuck somewhere, right? Whatever the reason. So, in spite of their efforts, the team of scientists could not make much progress to solve the problem. On scrutiny. Scrutiny means close observation. Scrutiny means close observation. So, on scrutiny, the police officer found out that the documents provided by the landlord were totally fabricated. Now, in industry, to fabricate something means to create something, right? From raw material, when you create something, you are fabricating something. So, it's called metal fabrication or other things. Another word for metal fabrication is also metal forging. So, the two words synonymously have also come to the world of wrongdoings. When you create false documents, that is also known as fabrication or forgery. So A, forged, is fabricated. Nakli dastavez banana, that is fabrication or forging. Mana, did you get that? Yeah. Lack of occupation is not necessarily revealed by manifest idleness. Manifest. The good nature of people are easily manifest on their face. The evil nature is easily manifest on the face of a person. सो नीचे से डिफ्लेक्टेड मीन्स जिसको बाजू में हटा दिया. इन्फेक्टेड का मतलब तो सबको पता है, अक्वायर्ड यानी कि हासिल किया. बट मैनिफेस्ट ऑन फेस मीन्स इट इज़ ईजिली सीन, ईजिली परसीव्ड ऑन योर फेस. तो जो चीज़ ईजिली शक्ल पे दिखाई देती है, विच इज़ ईजिली परसीव्ड और विच कैन बी सीन, इज नोन एज मैनिफेस्ट. सो व्हेन समथिंग इज मैनिफेस्ट वी मीन टू से दैट उसको आसानी से देख सकते हैं, उसको आसानी से परख सकते हैं. टू परसीव समथिंग इज टू परख समथिंग. So manifest means that which is easily perceived. Yes, easily deflected actually means which is easily put aside. The Wonder Woman can deflect a bullet with her gauntlet, right? उसको बाजू में धक्का दे सकती है. That is deflect. The accident occurred due to his lapse. एक्सीडेंट किसकी वजह से होती है? एक्सीडेंट हमेशा गलती की वजह से होती है. अनजाने में एक्सीडेंट नहीं होता है, एक्सीडेंट गलतियों की वजह से होती है. Right? So although we might be tempted to mark ignorance, but we should know that accidents are not usually caused by ignorance. The most common cause of accidents is actually error. Lapse means he was supposed to do something and he did not do it. That means he made an error. Lapse means something which you are supposed to do but don't end up doing. It is your duty to do something, you don't do it. That is a lapse on your part, right? And that is not ignorance, that is error. Sunlight and shadow made the landscape a kaleidoscope of color. Now please be very careful when marking the answer. It's a very tricky one. ऐसे लगने में आसान होगा, but it's tricky. And we have our first victim. And एक के बाद एक, majority of them getting it wrong. कुछ सही कर रहे हैं, but majority of them making the same common mistake. So we know, everybody knows that a kaleidoscope is actually that छोटा round cardboard का डब्बा, tube, जिसके दोनों side कांच लगा होता है, mirror. Right? There's a lens on one side and a mirror on the, and it's closed on the other. And then there are colorful bangle pieces inside, and inside the tube itself there are pieces of mirrors, and it forms symmetrical designs and new designs every time you turn them, right? That's a kaleidoscope. But here it does not mean that. Look at it, how it has been used in the passage. It says sunlight and shadow made the landscape a kaleidoscope of color. It did not, so here kaleidoscope does not mean a tube which is containing mirrors and blah blah blah. It only refers to the frequently changing pattern of bright scenes. The word kaleidoscope is actually used to indicate the kind of bright changing patterns that are formed inside it, and not the instrument itself, right? So you have to be very careful in seeing what is the context in which the particular word has been used. So even if you know the meaning of the word kaleidoscope, you may ending up marking the wrong answer. Why? Because you did not read what was the sense in which they had used the word. They are not describing an instrument here. Rather, they are describing an adjective to describe the scenery. So B is the right answer, not A. Did everybody get this one? A is the actual meaning of the word, but here it is not the sense in which the word has been used. A different meaning of the word has been used in this particular sentence, and hence B has to be marked as the answer. Like I said, man, in the beginning, it is definitely a tricky one. But I hope you will take a couple of seconds, read the sentence carefully, and then once you decide that a particular option is the answer, see if it actually implies what it means in the sentence. If it does, go ahead with it. If not, wait a moment, check the other options as well. After the dismal performance of the team in the series conducted yesterday, the captain offered his resignation to the president of the club. So whenever we are talking about sports, when we see, we feel sorrowful. If their performance is not what we expect, the audience may feel sorrowful, but the performance is either good or bad, right? The quality of a performance can only be good or bad. That means bad, poor, these are the words which can be used to describe them, and hence A definitely has to be my answer. We cannot say that the performance of a team was sorrowful. Okay, we may be feeling sorrow if we lost the match, but that does not make their performance sorrowful. That makes their performance poor. The quality of a performance is always good, bad, poor, or something like that, right? So here the word dismal is just poor. Are we together on this? Are we together on this? Okay. We didn't believe in his statement, but subsequent events proved that he was right. So, analyze the word. Sequent, as in sequential, as in sequence. What is it all related to? When we say something is sequential, something is following a sequence, then we generally mean order of time, right? When something is sequential, we mean something in order of time. So subsequent, it has to do something with time, and we didn't believe, but subsequent events proved that he was right. That means the event which happened afterwards. So many and few have to do with quantity, cannot be my answer, and earlier has to do with before. So the only possible option is latter, right? Subsequent, right? Something which happened afterwards. The answer is subsequent, something which happened afterwards. Guys, if there are any doubts on why your particular answer is not the right one, do make it a point to ask if you're not convinced with mine. Okay? Chalo. The pioneers left a blazing trail of courage, manliness, and chivalry. Pioneers can often have a lot many different meanings. So based on how it is used in a sentence, we have to identify the right meaning for it. Now, we are talking about courage, manliness, chivalry. So it has nothing to do with things of science, right? It rather has to do with things of society. So, pioneers are people who are the first. So, explorers, it doesn't indicate anyone being first in anything. And a colonialist is generally used in a negative sense, generally used to describe people of the British Empire who used to annex and make different countries their own. So, colonialist is not generally used as a positive term. And here they're talking about positive qualities. So, colonialists does not make sense. We are left with two options, either inventors or settlers. Like I said before, it has nothing to do with science. So rather than inventors, I would go with settlers, right? So the settlers left a blazing trail of courage, manliness, and chivalry, the closest word which is used in the sentence. Are we together on this? Did everybody get this one? Okay. He has a propensity for getting into debt. Some children have a propensity for getting into trouble. I mean, they don't want to do it, but it just happens. So when it is something which they don't want to do, but it just happens, it is nothing but a natural tendency, right? Propensity literally means natural tendency. You are just born with it. You just have that quality. You have not developed that skill. It is not something taught to you, right? It is not something acquired. It is something which you have already had. which has been in you naturally. So the propensity for getting into debt, propensity literally means natural tendency. That young is quite sanguine about the result of his competitive examination. ना भी समझ में आए, ऑड मैन आउट का एक्सरसाइज की तरह मैं देख सकता हूँ इसको. Out of all the 4 words, depressed, pessimistic, and anxious are all negative words, whereas optimistic is only the positive one. So, चाहते ना चाहते हुए, there's a 90% chance that the odd word out may be the meaning. In this case, it definitely is. Sanguine means optimistic, or rather, not very too happy, but okay, ठीक है, I'm not worried about it. Right? Chilled. Optimistic in the sense chilled, that is sanguine. He's averse to the idea of holding elections now. Now, averse is a very commonly used word. That averse means against something, to be averse to something. He's averse to the smell of meat, means he's very much against the smell of meat. He's averse to loud music, he does not like loud music. So in that case, the only possible word which makes sense is opposed. ठीक है. The corpulent body of the dead man made it difficult to carry it to the graveyard. Corpulent. Corpse plus opulent. Corpulent. Corpulent can be seen as a combination of 2 different words, corpse and opulent. Corpse literally means body. Opulent means rich. So lean means thin. Gaunt is more thin. Emaciated is very thin. Jabki obese is mota. So a body which is rich will be fat, right? So corpulent literally means obese, extremely fat. Fat to the level of being unhealthy. Yes, I hope everybody got this one. Silence is mandatory for meditation to be effective. The word mandatory now has become so common as part of our vocabulary. Masks are mandatory. Social distancing is mandatory. I don't even need to tell you what the answer is. This though I hope everybody should have got it. Mandatory, as simple as that. It means compulsory. We should always try to maintain and promote communal amity. So amity comes from French amis, right? Amiable, amicable. All these are also words which come from the same, and they all mean the same thing. They are all related to friendship. So amity or amity has a French background, and it has to do with friendship. The soldier displayed exceptional courage and saved Major from the enemy's hand. Okay, so avoidable, you cannot show avoidable courage, right? Because courage is not to be avoided, so that is bad. Strange courage भी क्या होता है? It's courage is never strange. Now, abnormal is generally used for something which is not normal in a negative sense, right? We say abnormal growth of tumor. So when something which is not ordinary but not in the good way, in a bad way, abnormal has negative connotations to it. So when we say exceptional courage, we are actually saying it was more than what was usual, right? Everybody usually has a solid amount of courage, but he had more than regular, more than usual amount of courage. So unusual courage is what we are describing. So exceptional means unusual. Exceptional means unusual. Chalo. Public figures should not indulge in mudslinging. Mudslinging is the word which is supposed to be, sorry, mudslinging is the word which is supposed to be highlighted. So what is the thing we are looking for? Literally the same thing which it means in Hindi, कीचड़ उछालना. एक दूसरे पे कीचड़ उछालना. कीचड़ उछालना झगड़ा करना होता है? नो. एक दूसरे पे कीचड़ उछालना झगड़ा करना नहीं होता. Caricature is just a cartoon. Caricature is just a cartoon. Mockery is किसी का मजाक उड़ाना. But when you are trying to hurt the reputation of the other person, you're actually slandering the other person, right? When you are mudslinging, that means you are trying to hurt the reputation of the other person, and that is known as slander. So here mudslinging is slander. Did everybody get it? Chalo. The notice said the meeting would begin precisely at 9:30 a.m. Precisely का मतलब क्या है? Means na आगे ना पीछे, exactly at the same time, right? Mention time पे यथार्थ बिल्कुल नहीं, approximately is the exact opposite of precisely. You are supposed to be here at precisely 10 o'clock. It does not mean कि 10 बजे के आजू बाजू आना है, आपको exactly 10 बजे आना है. And accurately is not what we mean. Accurately means correctly. The information is accurate, means it is correct. But precisely, when we are referring to time, we mean na aage na piche, exactly at that time. So precisely means exactly. I hope everybody got this one. Chalo. Next one. That the plan is both inhuman and preposterous needs no further proof. Okay. Inhuman and heartless more or less mean the same thing. So I will not be using the same word twice. So heartless cannot be my answer. Again, abnormal makes no sense. How is a plan abnormal? So it could be between impractical and absurd. And preposterous, the actual dictionary meaning of the word preposterous is something which defies imagination. क्या बकवास है? The literal word which we'll be using to describe the word preposterous in Hindi would be bakwas. यार क्या बकवास कर रहे हो. So it's not impractical, but something which is absurd, something which is nonsensical, something which does not make any sense at all. So we won't call something as preposterous if it is just impractical. Impractical means it is not practical, right? But total bakwas hai, so then it is absurd, makes no sense, and that is preposterous. Did everybody get this one? Sure. The prisoner has been languishing in the jail for the last many years. Now, certain words they have a general meaning, but they're always associated with a certain context. For example, the word languish has always been associated with prisons, although not necessary. But whenever the word languish is used, it is more or less always in the context of prisons. So, what does it mean? कई सालों से वो जेल में सड़ रहा है. Right? Convicted means proven guilty. Attempting is trying and avoiding is trying to say no. But कई सालों से जेल में सफ़र कर रहा है, that is सड़ रहा है, that is languishing. So the prisoner has been suffering in the jail for the last many years. Next one. As the driver was inebriated, he could not control the car. Again, a very specific meaning. Although some other words from the options may also seem to be contextually right, however, the word inebriated itself has a very specific meaning. The word inebriated, it has always to do with alcohol. Inebriated, it literally means drunk or intoxicated, right? So inexperienced or tired or befuddled means confused. They may seem to fit the meaning, but unfortunately here, because there's a very specific meaning associated, the others cannot be marked as the right answer. The only option which makes sense to go as the meaning for inebriated is intoxicated. When the police questioned him, he gave very incoherent answers at first. Incoherent is that which does not match. Incoherent, that which does not match. Irritating is that which annoys. Irrelevant is that which does not answer the question. Irrational means illogical. Inconsistent is something which you cannot understand because it does not match. Right? Incoherent and inconsistent is answers which do not match. Irrelevant, actually no, irrelevant has to do with incoherent means I can't understand it. Irrelevant means I'm asking you something, you are telling me something, I understand what you are saying, but it is not the answer to my question. Right? Irrelevant means it is an answer which is understandable but not answering the question which I asked. That is not incoherent. Yeah. Even today, many people are guided by abstruse moral values. Abstruse. abstruse. See, dangerous, we know what it means. Impracticable is okay, and irrational also we know. Obscure means something which is lost in time, something which is so ancient that nowadays we don't even understand what it means. Right? Something which is lost in history that today we don't even know what it is for. And that is what abstruse also means. Something which is so old, something which is so irrelevant that we don't know why we do it, but still we do it. So abstruse moral values are old moral values whose actual relevance or meaning is lost, but nevertheless we blindly follow it. No, obscure doesn't mean uncertain. Obscure means something which is not very clear, something whose meaning is not very clear to understand. Vanshika, Varnika, right? Impracticable, जो practical नहीं है. Right? Now, instead of putting up a united front against a common enemy, the medieval states frittered away their energy in internecine warfare. Here, a little bit of analysis of the word helped me find the answer. Internecine. The word inter stands for between. Internecine. The word inter, interstate, international, interschool. So inter means between, and between or mutual. So just by knowing that the word inter means mutual, I know that internecine is mutually destructive. Internecine means mutually destructive. So a little bit of trivia. The US has a scenario planned if World War III takes place between countries which all have nuclear power. You know what is the name given to that scenario? A scenario in which a world war takes place with the participants all having nuclear power. You know what is the name given to that scenario? It's an acronym, and it's a very appropriate acronym. So US says that if a third world war takes place and the involved countries all have nuclear power, that situation will be MAD. MAD, right? Sounds very appropriate. Of course, pagalpan hai, MAD. But MAD, it stands for mutually assured destruction. They say that if multiple players with nuclear power fight, obviously everything will be destroyed. So it's called mutually assured destruction. They call that scenario as MAD, MAD. Right? So their scenario of world war with nuclear power is literally contains what it is. It's MAD, mutually assured destruction. Okay. Few teachers have been spared the problem of an obstreperous pupil in the class. From the options, which is the kind of pupil which teachers don't want? An obstreperous pupil is what kind of a student? So if a student is sullen, it simply means वो एकदम चुप रहता है, मूड खराब रहता है, किसी से बात नहीं करता है. It's okay, teachers can handle those students. Lazy, those who don't work, they can be made to work. Awkward, who are not graceful, they are not at all bad. It's very easy to handle them. But a student who is unruly is a student who does not follow rules, is a student who is breaking the rules, and that is the kind of student which teachers don't like. So an obstreperous student is an unruly student, a student who is not following rules. The story is too fantastic to be credible. The word credible is so commonly used in so many different words in English. Credibility, incredulous. So when we say somebody is credible, we say that that person can be trusted, right? So when something is credible, something is trustworthy, it means that something is believable, that something is credible. Credible means something which contains truth in it, something which can be trusted, something which can be believed. Praiseworthy is prashansa ke layak. Readable is something which can be read, right? Now understand, the story is too fantastic to be credible का मतलब क्या है? It means the story is so fantastic that you cannot believe it. The story is too fantastic to be credible. The actual meaning is story इतना fantastic है कि उसको believe ही नहीं किया जा सकता. Too fantastic to be credible means so fantastic that it is not credible. So be careful when you use the word too. When you use the word too, it is actually a negative. When you say, oh, this food is too good, you actually are trying to say this food is so good that it is bad. Right? So when you want to say something is extremely nice, don't say it is too. Use the word very. This food is very good. This food is very delicious. That's fine. Oh, too good here, too good. We keep using the word too without realizing that in English, the word too can actually be used to convert it into a negative. Never ever use the word too when you can use the word very. They feel that we should be fully aware of our own environment. They feel that we should be fully aware of our own environment. We should be aware of what? Our nationality, कि हम इंडियन है, नहीं. Of our heredity, कि हमारे genetics में क्या है, नहीं. या nature. Why should be aware of nature? People always say you should be aware of your surroundings. किसी भी point पे तुम्हारे आजू बाजू क्या है, उस चीज़ का awareness होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, right? So here the word environment means surroundings, not nature. Environment does not mean nature necessarily. In this context, the word environment means surroundings. Did you get that? Did everybody get it? Kunika? Yes. No one will invite her to a tea party for she is so garrulous. Garrulous simply means very talkative. Batuni talks a lot. So the word garrulous, garrulity, it means the quality of talking a lot. The aberration in the Indian economy can be attributed to a short-sightedness of its political masters. What is meant by an aberration? So an aberration is actually a glitch. It's something which is small but which is not regular, which is not normal, which moves away from the normal. So here, प्रोक्रास्टिनेशन इज बार बार चीज़ों को डिले करना. प्रिविलेज इज योर राइट. स्टेडफास्टनेस इज लॉयल्टी. Deviation is going away from normal, and that is aberration. So aberration literally means to deviate from normal, to move away from normal. So the aberration or the glitch in the Indian economy can be attributed to short-sightedness of its political masters. Did everybody get this one? Are we together, guys? Okay. Traffic being what it is lamentable that our roads are unable to take the load. To lament literally means to cry. Hi, 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 hi karna. अनपार्डनेबल इज जिसको माफ़ नहीं किया जा सकता. डिप्लोरेबल इज जिसके खिलाफ कंप्लेन किया जा सकता है, राइट, जिसके खिलाफ हाय 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 किया जाता है. इनएक्सक्यूजेबल इज जिसको अगेन जिसका कोई एक्सक्यूज़ नहीं है. एंड टेरिबल तो पता ही है. सो बाय नाउ एवरीबडी शुड हैव नोन दैट लेमेंटेबल इज द सेम एज डिप्लोरेबल. To lament or to deplore literally means to curse at something because it is bad. To lament and to deplore are both to complain against something. Complain as in nya 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 करते रहना. अरे यार सरकार क्या करती है, रास्तों को खोद देती है, फिर बारिश से पहले ठीक नहीं करती, फिर देख क्या हालत है. This is both deploring and lamenting. Yes. Guys, are we together on this? Because I'm not getting many responses. Okay. A rupture in the relationship of two brothers is quite apparent. There was a rupture in the wing of the plane. So, when something neatly splits into two, right, a clean split जब होता है, that is called a rupture, right. Damage means simply नुकसान होना. Breach means कोई चीज़ तोड़ के अंदर आना. And gap means थोड़ा distance दो चीज़ों के बीच में बनना. But a rupture literally means a clean break between two things. So A is the best possible answer. Rupture is when it cleanly divides into two. That means it breaks into two. It's not chota mota nuksan damage. It's actually a break into two. So break is the best form for rupture. Not damage. Damage is just नुकसान होना, right? पानी की वजह से थोड़े कॉर्नर में नुकसान हो गया, that's damage. But rupture means it broke into two parts. It cleanly split into two parts. So rupture means break. Got that, Priyanshi? Okay. His visit to foreign countries brought about a sea change in his outlook and his attitude to people. So a sea change, a sea is a huge thing, right? So it cannot be partial. It has something to do with size. So either it is complete or partial. It cannot be favorable or unfavorable because they have nothing to do with size. And sea change, by the name itself, by the sense itself we get, should be something big. A partial change is not big. A complete change is. So a sea change, best option A, complete change. Moving on. Only those who are gullible take every advertisement seriously. We say young children are gullible. So when you say something to a child, it easily agrees whatever you say, right? What does that mean? Fallible is something which can fail. Enthusiastic is something which is eager. Unrealistic, we know what that means. बट गलेबल मीन्स समथिंग जिसको बड़े आसानी से उल्लू बनाया जा सकता है क्योंकि वो आप पे शक नहीं करता. दे ट्रस्ट यू सो मच दैट दे बिलीव वॉट एवर यू से एंड दैट मेक्स देम गलेबल. सो अ गलेबल पर्सन इज एन अनसस्पेक्टिंग पर्सन, not unrealistic. Unrealistic is something which is not real. A gullible person is not unreal. A gullible person is a person who does not suspect you. They trust you so much, they will believe whatever you say. तो कुछ लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाना बड़ा आसान होता है. क्यों? बड़े भोले होते हैं. जो भी आप कहोगे वो मान जाएंगे. Right? They will not suspect that you are saying wrong. Such people are known as gullible people. That's what the word gullible means. Whatever opinion he gives is sane. Insane is pagal, opposite of sane. So what could sane mean? Yeah. Arrogant is full of क्या बोलें? A person who believes too much in himself. He's very arrogant towards it. He has an arrogant attitude. Wild is jungly. Obscure, we have already seen this word one as a meaning before. Right? Obscure, something which is old and not clear, which is unclear. Whatever your opinion he gives is sane, full of logic. So there the answer has to be rational. Whatever opinion he gives is rational. The recent act of vandalism in the country cannot be ignored. Oh, just as an example, but see the coincidence, it has actually happened yesterday. Acts of vandalism. Did you guys follow the news yesterday? See all the vandalism happening in the country in the name of what? It's terrible. We don't even know what to support and what not to support now. Anyway, so now we know because this word would have been used a lot in the news. So vandalism literally means violence. Vandalism is violence, especially destruction of property. Any destruction of property is known as vandalism. So that is closely associated with violence. It took him a long time to come around after the operation. After the operation, what happens? What is the first thing which happens after you are operated on? The first thing is literally you recover. Right? Recovery takes a lot of time. Now, the time in which you are recovering, what is that period known as? There's a very specific scientific word for it. I don't know whether anybody knows that. What is that period known as? Just after an illness or a surgery, when the patient is recovering, it's not exactly rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is when physically you are given exercise and other things. not post surgery. It's simply that even generally after illness, that time that you have for recovery, that's called convalescent period. It's called the period of convalescence. So a convalescent is a person who's just had some illness and is recovering from it. Convalescent. Convalescent. So convalescence is the period after an illness in which you are recovering. Okay, I don't like alien fashions. E.g. Yes. Exotic is something which is not regular, right? Something which is very fancy. Unusual, again, something which is not regular. Extraness, something which is more than what is required. Foreign is something which is not our own, which belongs to outside. So alien and foreign, they mean the same thing. Something which does not belong to the same region as you, the same country as you. So for something which is not the same country as you, it is foreign to you or it is alien to you. Catching snakes can be hazardous for people untrained in the art. What's a hazard? This is a very commonly used term. Chemicals are hazardous. We see this written everywhere. Hazardous chemicals, be careful. So, hazardous. Yeah. A hazard is something which is bad for you, right? So, that is dangerous. Hazardous literally means dangerous. The inspector was a vigilant young man. In fact, we have an entire department called the Vigilance Department in our country. Right? Vigilance officer. So, what is the work of a vigilance officer? लोगों पे नज़र रखते हैं, वो चीज़ों पे नज़र रखते हैं. They keep an eye on something. So, vigilant is watchful. नज़र रखना, आंखें खुली रखना. Be vigilant means be watchful. Keep a look around, look at things around you. I wrote to him as lately as last week. This is a classic example of the word's meaning is twisted. I wrote to him as lately as last week. So late, recently, late is usually associated with far. But when used in this context, I wrote to him as lately as last week. It actually means recently. मैं अभी तो लिखा. So I wrote to him as lately as last week. It actually contextually means recently. Many species of animals have become extinct during the last 100 years. Many species of animals have become extinct during the last 100 years. Aggressive means angry. Scattered means bikhre hue. Feeble means weak. But when you're talking about animals in last 100 years, we know extinct means they have stopped being. So extinct means non-existent. They have literally stopped existing. Extinct means they have stopped existing. They are no longer there now. So many species which once upon a time were common are now no longer visible. They are over. So an endangered species is something which is about to become extinct. An endangered species is something which is about to become extinct. Extinct means it is gone. The tablet alleviated the pain and the patient was soon feeling much better. Okay, so यहाँ पे थोड़ा we'll have to do wordplay. If pain is only moderated or lightened, moderated only means controlled, right? So not my answer. And tablets don't remove any pain. Remove is physically to take out something, and to lighten something means it is not completely gone. Alleviated is usko is to adjust it to an extent that it is totally bearable, and alleviated is actually closely associated with the word mitigated. So alleviated has to be taken as mitigated. Tablets don't remove pain, they alleviate or mitigate pain. पेन को फिजिकली नहीं निकाला जा सकता. टू रिमूव समथिंग मीन्स टू फिजिकली टेक इट आउट. पेन कैन नेवर बी फिजिकली टेकन आउट. So removed cannot be my answer. And pain is not pain. Lightened the pain? No, we don't use the word lightened. We lighten the complexion. We lighten the color. But pain is not lightened. That's not the right word to use. The words we use along with pain are usually alleviated or mitigated. The international community may begin to doubt the credentials of the largest democracy in the world. We have already seen words with the word cred in it, credibility. We saw credibility meant believability. Here, what do credentials mean? Yeah, most of us getting it right. So credentials obviously means your trustworthiness. How much can people believe you? So D, trustworthiness. They were totally unaware of the impending disaster. Pending. That is your keyword here. Pending means जो करने का बाकी है. So impending. What could it mean? Work is pending means this work is left. So impending, something which is about to happen, right? So threatening, no. Terrible, no. Possible, no. The word imminent means something which is about to happen. This is an imminent threat, right? Which means this is about to happen just now. So the word impending and the word imminent, they mean the same thing. Something which is just about to happen. Possible means something which can occur. That has nothing to do with when it can occur. It can happen now, it can happen sometimes in the future. So possible does not give you the sense of something which is able to happen, which is about to happen now. The general policies will relieve the sufferings of the common man. The general policies will relieve the sufferings of the common man. Again, this is like pain. Pain is relieved. Right? So abate and moderate to nahi. It could be both alleviate and mitigate, although the closer option preferred in language is to alleviate. Right? Mitigation is generally used with problems, alleviation is used with symptoms. So when it comes to suffering and things like that, alleviate is always a better word than mitigate. The word mitigate is generally used when you are talking about problems. Mitigating circumstances, mitigating the problems. But when you're talking about suffering, when you're talking about illness, then we talk about alleviating the pain, alleviating the sorrow, alleviating the sickness, and so on and so forth. So that's the difference between alleviate and mitigate. The contexts are different. The underworld still makes solid profit out of illicit liquor. the underworld still makes solid profit out of illicit liquor. Indigenous is local, right? जो अपने देश में बनता है. Illegitimate is something which is not given the sanction by society, right? Society जिसको नहीं मानती है, that is illegitimate. Illegal तो हमको पता ही है. Country, देसी. Illicit actually means illegal. Illicit means illegal. For illegitimate means something which is not given recognition by society. For example, Karna was the illegitimate son of Kunti, right? Karna was the illegitimate son of Kunti. Society never officially recognized him as the son of Kunti, so he was illegitimate. That is the meaning of illegitimate. It has more to do with social sanction, whereas illegal has to do with law. Yes, understood, Rishikesh? Difference between illegitimate and illegal. Chalo. True religion does not require one to proselytize through guile or force. To proselytize means what? This we keep hearing a lot in India. Although you hear the Hindi word, but that's the meaning of the word proselytize. एंड अभी प्रोसेलेटाइज का रिवर्स भी चालू किया है इंडिया में. प्रोसेलेटाइज यूज्ड टू मीन धर्म परिवर्तन, एंड अभी धर्म परिवर्तन का रिवर्सल इज घर वापसी. Politicians have made all sort of terms for it. So to proselytize is to force somebody to convert from one religion to another. Translate is एक लैंग्वेज से दूसरे लैंग्वेज में बताना. Hypnotize, you know what is hypnotize, right? Attack is to हमला करना. But proselytize, when you talk about religion, it is actually talking about conversion, dharam parivartan. From one religion, you are converted to another, that is proselytization. Some religions require that their followers proselytize others, means they convert other people from their religion to ours. The small boy was able to give a graphic description of the thief. The small boy was able to give a graphic description of the thief. So graphic means full of detail. Graphic means extremely detailed. Now picture and drawing, they mean the same thing. And although we might be tempted to think graphic means picture or drawing, but he did not give a picture description or a drawing description of the thief. Graphic is used as an adjective, right? Now broad actually means मोटा मोटा, which means ज़्यादा डिटेल नहीं था उसके अंदर, right? General एक description दिया जिसमें डिटेल नहीं था, that would be broad. Graphic is the opposite of that. So graphic is vivid. Graphic means vivid description of something. I have learnt a great deal working factories, and for a time I've never been a weaver. Here are my testimonials, sir. What are testimonials? And you guys will now be needing a lot of testimonials as you step into the world of higher education. A witness is simply a person who says something for you. Testaments are actually very ornate, very decorative piece of documents saying something. And tokens are literally those food tokens and other things that you can get. But credentials are certificates, right? When you are presenting something, you are presenting your testimonials, you are presenting things regarding your achievements, you are actually presenting certificates, right? So testimonials or certificates mean your credentials. D. A testament is a very elaborate document. Testimonials and credentials are simply certificates. The claims of students look hollow when they attribute their poor performance to difficulty of examination. एग्ज़ाम में अगर परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा नहीं है तो हमारी गलती थोड़ी है, तो पेपर ही डिफ़िकल्ट था. When students say like this, their claims look very hollow. To infer means to conclude. To impute means to allege. To inhere, there is no such word. Inundate is to overflow. So to attribute is to allege. Right? आप किसी पे allege करते हो कि वो तो एग्ज़ाम गंदा था इसलिए रिजल्ट गंदा है. So to impute or to attribute, to allege, they're all synonymous. Are we together? The angry villagers have lynched 2 suspected child lifters already. The angry villagers have lynched, and even this a couple of years back happened, a very infamous mob lynching episode in Palghar. If you remember, there was a mob lynching episode in Palghar. Very, very, very dark piece of events which happened. So what does lynching mean? Now remember, lynching is an extreme form of violence. It does not mean simply to beat, capture or mutilate. But lynching ends up in the death of a person. So lynching is actually killing somebody. Generally by hanging in a mob. मॉब इकट्ठा होके किसी को पकड़ के उसको ऐसे ही पब्लिकली जब हैंग करके मार डालती है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड लिंचिंग. इट इज़ वन ऑफ द वर्स्ट फॉर्म्स ऑफ क्रूअल्टी दैट ह्यूमन बींग्स आर capable of as a group. And mob lynching is mob mentality. जब एक चालू करता है, the mob loses its sense and they all end up doing something which individually they might not do. That's called mob mentality. So lynching is actually killing somebody. Some people just cannot compromise where truth is concerned. And it is something which I believe everybody should. Nobody should compromise with truth, right? To accommodate is to allow. Yield means surrender karna. Conciliate is compromise. Not exactly compromise, is sulah karna. But in this particular usage, when you are saying compromise, it means to adjust. Here compromise actually means to adjust. He listened of my request with indifference. It should be he listened to my request. He listened to my request with indifference. जैसे सरकारी बाबू पुराने पिक्चरों में दिखाते थे, हाँ बोलते जाओ क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है, राइट? सो व्हाट डज इट मीन? So with indifference, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है, right? With it did not make रत्ती भर difference to them. That means they listened to the request with total disinterest. They were just not interested in what they had to say. So indifference is disinterest. The soldier proved his mettle in the battlefield. The soldier proved his mettle in the battlefield. What does that mean? To prove one's mettle. Right? So to prove one's mettle literally means how much you can take, how brave you are, and how much you can suffer or how much you can endure something. It's not about your strength, it's about your endurance. Soldiers are not known for their strength, but they are known for how much they can bear things. So it is courage and endurance. Persistence is the ability to keep going on and on. Stamina is how much energy you have. Endurance is how long you can bear something. And for soldiers, the true test is how much they can bear things and still keep going. So, to prove your mettle in the battlefield simply means courage and endurance. Japan has been very much eulogized in this book. You means good, logi means speak. Logi means speak. You means good. So eulogy means good speech. Good speech कब होता है? Eulogy is generally when somebody dies, at their funeral you say good things about them. That technically is called a eulogy. But the word eulogy has also been used in other contexts. So eulogy means good speech. So when you're praising someone, that is also a eulogy. Although eulogy is used generally in the context of somebody dying and you talking about them at their funeral, but it can be used in general ways. So eulogy literally means to praise somebody. The time I spent in the library was a most rewarding one. The time I spent in the library was most rewarding one. So precious reward means when you get a benefit. Something which is precious is something which is very nice but not necessarily beneficial. Serviceable and paying नहीं. Rewarding means फायदा जिसमें हो रहा है. And फायदा, as we all know, literally means profit. So being rewarding means being profitable. When you make something out of it, when you get some benefit out of it, that is called being rewarding or profitable. So the time spent in the library was the most profitable one. The benevolence of the god of rain has seen a very successful monsoon this year too. Bene means good. It's a French root. Benefit, benefactor, beneficiary, right? Benediction. So words which start with bene. Bene literally means good. So a benefactor is a person who does good for you. So anything which has to do with good things. Ill will is nafrat. Morbidity is again related to bad health. And vision, na good na bad. So when we need something positive, the only word here is kindness. So benevolence means the kindness of the god of rain has seen a very successful monsoon this year too. Whatever the verdict of history may be, Chaplin will occupy a unique place in its pages. So verdict, dict means speech, diction, dictionary. Dict means speech. Verdict, we know it is related to law, it is related to courtrooms. So the only word here which is directly related to law and courtrooms is judgment. So verdict literally means judgment. Whatever the judge pronounces at the end of the case, that is a verdict, that is a judgment. Even though singing of ballads is no longer lucrative, the Bhopas of Rajasthan continue to sing them in order to cherish the memory of their royal warriors. Lucrative comes from the word lucre, and lucre literally means money. Lucre, L-U-C-R-E, lucre literally means money. So something, when we say something is lucrative, what could it mean? Right? It has to do something with money. The only word out of the four which has any relation with money is profitable. So lucrative means profitable. Lucrative means profitable. Incensed by his rude behavior, the manager suspended the worker. Now, incense by itself means dhoop or agarbatti, but this is not related to that. Incensed, right? When would a manager suspend a worker? Excite hona is just have a lot of emotions. It could be both positive or negative. Inflamed is to be shocked or scandalized by something. And enthused होना means which pumps you with good energy. But किसी को fire करने के लिए you need to be angry. And anger or rage is related to enraged. So incensed by his rude behavior, that is enraged or angered by his rude behavior, the manager suspended the worker. The poem is written in a very lucid style. Lucidity. You must always speak in a lucid manner. If you speak in a lucid manner, nobody will get confused. It's always good to write things in a lucid fashion so that everybody can understand it. So elaborate and intricate both mean the same thing. They mean with a lot of extra details, right? For example, we see a lot of windows with a lot of carvings on them. We say that the design is very intricate or the design is very elaborate. But we want things to be written in a clear style so that they're easy to understand. And lucid means clear. Lucid means clear. The base of an Indian politician is a group of sycophants around them who earn bad name for their leaders. Who are sycophants? I love this word. Sounds like elephant. Sycophant. Who's a sycophant? Submissive is a person who always bows to you. Foppish is somebody who is too stylish. Jarner करके कोई word नहीं होता. Sycophant के लिए literal word in Hindi is जी हुजूरी करने वाला. A person who is always trying to butter you, who is always trying to agree with you, who is always trying to say हाँ सा आप सबसे बड़े, आप सबसे अच्छे. In short, a person who is always trying to flatter you is your sycophant. And sycophants are never good people. They are useless in fact. They don't add any value. अगर आपके हाँ में हाँ मिलाते रहेंगे, they are not giving any valuable advice to you. You should always stay away from such people. Right? Sycophants are never good for politicians. They are never good for anybody because they don't actually let you know the truth. Flatterers. He was wanted at the outset of his career. Outset. What does outset mean? Remember outset from set out. He set out on his career. Outset and set out. Same thing. He set out on his career. Means उसने career की शुरुआत की. So outset literally means the beginning of the career. at the outset of his career. Just remember, outset को याद रखने के लिए set out तो हमको पता है. When you set out for something, that means you are starting something. So outset means the beginning of something. When youngsters do not have good role model to emulate, they start searching for them among sportsmen and film stars. So you emulate role models. What do you do? What do you mean by emulating role models? Right? You try to follow a role model. Modify is change. Mollify means शांत करना. And inhabit means किसी चीज में रहना. Nothing to do with that. You try to imitate your role models. Yeah, you try to do the same thing which they do. Because if they are good and you follow them, then maybe you will also end up being good. That is usually the thought process. So to emulate something means to imitate something. To emulate something means to imitate something. The novel was so interesting that I was oblivious of my surroundings. Youngsters today are so into their mobile phones, they are oblivious to their surroundings. I think that should be a better sentence. I've seen so many videos, even real life, kids मोबाइल के अंदर इतने घुसे होंगे, चलते चलते टोइंग लैम्प पोस्ट से अथड़ा गए. So oblivious means not taking any precaution, not taking any care of what is surrounding. That literally is unmindful. Precarious is in a dangerous position. आप खाई के edge पे खड़े हो, that means you are in a precarious position, dangerous position. Right? Unmindful is where you are not paying attention. So to be oblivious is to be unmindful. Oh man, oh absolutely, this Pokemon Go. I'm happy I did not get to see any accidents or anything. But I've heard so many incidents when also, and why should I blame kids? When all sort of people entered all sort of places just in the quest of I don't know what. Terrible. All the characters in this novel are fictitious. Oh, this is simple. All the characters in this novel are fiction. Fact versus fiction. Fact is real. So fiction is unreal. Unreliable is जिस पे भरोसा नहीं किया जा सकता. खुशबू. Unreliable is जिस पे भरोसा नहीं किया जा सकता. But it can be a real life person. Fictitious means that character doesn't exist. It's just a created, like Pokemon. Pokemons don't exist. They're just created. They're unreal. You get that? Huh. Everyone was listening to the news of the earthquake with mounting anxiety. So curiosity can actually even have positive sense, and nobody is actually going to listen to earthquake news with that. Grief is sorrow and anxiety is not sorrow. Anxiety is actually uneasiness. क्या होने वाला? You don't know what is going to happen, but you know something bad is going to take place. That's when you become anxious, right? There is an uneasiness where you are not sure what is going to take place. You don't want it to happen. You know it is going to happen. So that's the feeling that you get. The feeling of anxiety. Grief is sadness. When somebody dies, you experience grief. Anxiety is uneasiness. You don't know what you're experiencing. You know it is bad, but you don't know exactly why it is bad or what is wrong. That is anxiety. Grief is sadness. After the earthquake is over, when you see the death and destruction, you are filled with grief. But when you're listening about an event like an earthquake which is about to happen, you're anxious because you don't know what is going to happen. So that is anxiety. When you're waiting for the results of the exam, you're anxious. After you get the results of your exam, you're full of grief. I hope you understand that. He corroborated the statement of his brother. Police always like to corroborate the statements given by witnesses. Seconded means somebody says this should be done, other says okay, I also agree. That is to second. To condemn something is to say that this is not right. Disproved, obviously, to prove something is wrong. Confirmed is corroborate, right? Someone says something and you say that yes, what he has said is right. You prove that yes, it is right. You confirm the validity of somebody's statement. That is corroboration. The prince fell in love with a comely young maiden. Stereotype. Prince fall in love with what type of? How is confirmed different from second? Okay, I'm just going on to the free one. Second one, to second something generally happens in meetings. Somebody says, I propose that we vote Mr. X as the leader. The other one says, I second that. He's not confirming it, he's supporting it. To second something is to support something. It has nothing to do with confirmation. Okay. The prince fell in love with a comely young maiden. Typical stereotype. The princes are always tall, handsome, and dashing, and the maidens means young lady. They're always pretty, right? Being pretty is one of their first requirements. So, comely literally means pretty, shapely, good looking. When I look back over their wartime years, I cannot help feeling that time is an inadequate and ever capricious measure of their duration. At one moment they seem so long, at another so short. Other options, in which one? The previous one? This one? Delightful is something which is very friendly and you always feel good being with them. Homely literally means gharelu. Right? If your girl is being described as gharelu, in India we usually know what that means. And elegant is someone who's very charming, very graceful, who has great style. That is elegant. ठीक है? Why can't elegant be the answer? No. Elegant is the second quality which is required. The first quality which princesses are supposed to have, they're supposed to be good, pretty. Sundar hai, uske baad sushil hai. We don't say sushil and sundar. We say sundar and sushil. So the word comely, whether you like it or not, the word comely actually means having a great figure. Right? It has nothing to do with elegance. It has to do with all looking extremely good. Very stereotypical. That's what comely, that's why nobody uses the word comely these days. It's very anti-feministic. Right? एक ज़माना था जब everybody would use the word comely to describe. Now it is not considered good to use the word comely because it is anti-feministic. Okay, capricious. Capricious is something which is not steady. Right? जो अपनी मन मर्जी पे चीज़ें करते रहता है. And that is whimsical. जो अपनी मर्जी का मालिक है, जो कभी एक स्टेडी चीज नहीं कर रहा है, कभी ये करता है, कभी वो करता है, अपनी मन पड़े वो करता है. दैट इज विम्सिकल. Misleading is something which takes you in the wrong direction. Erratic is something which is not regular. And unpredictable is something about which you cannot say what it will happen. See, the word capricious, it's better to go with whimsical than unpredictable. Because unpredictable is a rather scientific and cold term, right? But we are talking about time. It's an inadequate and capricious measure. Whimsical. Whimsical, it's silly. The word silly actually can be associated with both capricious and whimsical. Now, we don't say silly as unpredictable, right? Whimsical and capricious are more closely related to the word silly. Varnika, did you get erratic? Erratic is something which is not steady. आजकल हमारे एरिया में बिजली बहुत एराटिक है, आते जाते रहती है, कांस्टेंट नहीं है. समथिंग विच इज नॉट कांस्टेंट इज एराटिक. Awad, did you get that? Using whimsical is a better measure for capricious than unpredictable, because both whimsical and capricious have to do with being silly. Okay. Manish neglected to remit the fees in time and therefore had to pay a fine. Oh, straightforward. Neglected does not mean refused. Refused means you actively say I will not do it. Neglected means ध्यान के बाहर निकल गया, राइट? उसको शायद याद ही नहीं रहा, भूल गया. The word refused actually means he knew it and still consciously did not do it. उसे मना कर दिया. That is refused. Neglected means उसने उसके ध्यान से बाहर निकल गया. So it's not right to say neglected means refused. Neglected actually means failed. Promised and obstructed तो makes no sense, right? To refuse something is a conscious act. To neglect something may be an accidental act. Some of the Asian countries have been enmeshed in an inescapable debt trap. A mesh is a net. A mesh is a net. So, to be enmeshed in something, right? Struck means to beat. To be struck, to strike. Struck is the past form of strike. Strike means to beat. Enmeshed is net. मछली का जाल जो होता है, right? उसमें हम फंस जाते हैं, तो we get entangled in it. So to get enmeshed in something is to get entangled in something. जाले में फंस जाना. Ensured, of course, means made sure. She baffled all our attempts to find her. She baffled all our attempts to find her. To baffle someone means to confuse someone. Right? If you are baffled, you are confused. But when you are baffling others, then you are making sure that they are not able to do something. Right? So you foiled them. You confused them that they could not. So best option here is foiled. Defeated is हरा देना. Thwarted is prevent. Circumvent is किसी चीज़ को avoid करके उसके आजू बाजू से निकल जाना. But foiled means to confuse and prevent. So baffled का best usage would be the replacement word foiled. So guys, last word for the day. It's a scandal that the murderer was declared innocent. The untimely death of the young actor was a scandal. The actions of the minister were so bad that it was a scandal. Silly notion is पागल जैसा idea. Talk, बातें. Rumor is only something which is not necessarily true but ऐसी फैलती हैं. But a scandal is a disgraceful action. Sharamnak incident is a scandal, right? So a scandal is a disgraceful action. Did everybody get this one? Okay, guys. So starting today, here's something which I want you guys to do regularly. In your vocabulary material, there's a book, in one of the vocabulary books, there are lists of words which are given, word lists, right? There are about word lists of 10 to 20 words के अलग अलग groups दिए गए हैं. What I want you to do is daily I want you to pick up one list, search for the meanings of those words from the internet, search how they are being used in a sentence, and write them down in a book, right? Keep revising these words regularly. They're the most commonly used words, and your grasp over vocabulary will start improving. Similarly, there's a book of vocabulary which talks about word roots or etymology, right? I want you to start reading it. It is very simple to understand. It will help you understand the scientific basis on which new words get created in English, right? So if there are no more questions, no more doubts, then we are done for the day. You may exit the session. If you want to ask me something, you can hang around and ask. I'll be waiting for a few more minutes before we bring the day to an end. Wish you all the best. Have a good day.